Hi, and welcome back into day 3. Now, it's interesting if you look at the type of, or the aspect of mind, the quality of mind that we're using for this exercise. So ordinarily, we are heavily reliant and dependent on the thinking mind, that cognitive, intellectual, rational, if you like, and yet so often it seems irrational part of mind. The problem, of course, is that we can't use the thinking mind to get ourselves out of this situation. It was the thinking mind that got us into it in the first place. And you'll have already tried it, I'm sure, trying to think your way out of depression, trying to think your way out of sadness or frustration. It simply doesn't work. And it's also exhausting. So we need to find another way. We can't rely on that aspect of mind. And that aspect that we need is awareness. So awareness is that quality of mind which observes, it witnesses, it simply sees and experiences that which is going on. It's a bit like sitting in a theatre or going to the movies, and we're watching what happens. We're just seeing these things appear in the mind. We're not getting involved in them. We're allowing them to pass. It's very different from trying to ignore them or trying to suppress them or get rid of them in any way. We're actually giving them the freedom to arise, but we're seeing them in such a way that they don't impact us or overwhelm us in any way. So in that way, there's a real sense of freedom with this technique. So with that in mind, just taking a moment to get comfortable. As always, making sure that you're sat upright, eyes open. And when you're ready, just starting with some big deep breaths. And with the next out breath, just closing the eyes and just feeling the body sink down as you just settle back into the space around you and just begin to notice all the different sounds. And just starting to get a sense now of that feeling in the body, whether there's a sense of heaviness or lightness. Not hoping or fearing for either, but just being aware of that feeling as you begin at the top of the head and just scan evenly down through the body, just building up a picture of how the body feels. And now just shifting the attention to the breath. Just starting to become more aware of that movement, the location of it, the feeling of it. Just staying with that sensation for a short while. So as you begin to focus just a little more on that movement of breath, it's always counting if you find it easier, but either way, staying with each rising sensation, each falling sensation, knowing that that is the place to come back to. Every time you realize the mind's wandered, having paused, noted, let the thought, the feeling gone, just coming back to this sensation again. At the moment you get distracted, just noting, coming back to the breath. So when you realize you've been distracted, not rushing to note it, in fact almost leaving a space for just a moment. It's a question. Was it thinking or feeling? And as soon as you're aware, clear of which it was, just noting, letting it go, and coming back to the breath again. So not sitting with any expectation or goal, just a soft focus on the breath, remembering to note when you get distracted. And now just letting go of that focus on the breath. Letting go of any ideas of noting or labeling thoughts and feelings. And just for a moment, just let your mind do whatever it wants to do. And now just bringing the attention back again to the body, to the space around you as you just start to become more aware of those physical points of contact, that feeling of gravity, the body pressing downward. Perhaps noticing the sounds, the smells around you. And when you're ready, you can just open the eyes again. And as you sit there, just pausing before getting up, as always, just being clear how the body feels, how the mind feels. Not looking for a particular type of feeling, even though we might secretly hope that something's going to change. Instead, we're just being aware, allowing this process to unfold in its own time and in its own way. And as you go through the day, I mentioned on day one the importance of noting throughout the day. You may even like to take just a minute or two at various times throughout the day. Perhaps it's with a with your morning cup of tea or with your lunch or on your way home from work, whatever it might be. But just finding just a minute or two where you can just reinforce this idea of just being present with the breath. And the more you do this, the more natural it feels, the more proficient you become over time, and the more benefit you're going to see from this technique. But more of that tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you back here then for day 4.